love room. I'm so happy that you decided to click on this video. My name is Cam. I use they, them pronouns, and I am a passionate lover of beauty and makeup products and beauty YouTube, and also really passionate about expressing your gender identity, exploring identity through makeup, and also trying to wrestle those ideas with over-consumerism and overbuying and things like that. I'm also a lover of pop culture, and yeah, I'm just so excited to start this YouTube channel. And if you are also interested in those things and end up enjoying this video, I would love it if you would subscribe. You could be my first subscriber. That could be you. How exciting would that be? And even if you're not my first, you could be my second. Okay. So yeah, today we are going to be doing an anti-haul / talking about new makeup releases. I am in the middle of a no-buy right now. So I'm doing a no-buy until at least November, perhaps December. The earliest it'll end is November though. So even if I do like any of these new makeup releases I'm about to talk about, which I don't really think there may be like a couple that I would maybe be tempted to buy if I wasn't on a no-buy. But we'll get into all of that. So by virtue of the no-buy, this is an anti-haul because I cannot buy any of these things for better or for worse, but mostly for better. So if that interests you, let's get on with the vid. All right, as most people do, I feel like with these videos, I'm just going through @trendmood1 on Instagram. Not that I think Miss Trendmood needs my help in shouting her out because she's, however many followers she has, that's like however million more than she has than me. I think some of it may be a little old tea. Some of it may not be released yet. Some of it may have just gotten released. So I'll talk about that throughout. All right, so the first one I have pulled up is the Natasha Denona Mini Bronze Palette. This is, I don't know if this is out yet. I'm gonna Google real quick. Loading on the internet. It is, wow, $27 now? I thought that was really... Anyway, you can buy it for $27 on Sephora, which I guess inflation hit the mini palettes. I've never bought one of the mini palettes or actually any of the Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. I do have, it's not a mini, it's like the bigger version of the mini with the same kind of clear plastic packaging. That I got for like the 2 months I was a BoxyCharm subscriber that is actually really nice quality, but I never use. I would say actually the closest to the bronze palette for sure I have the Alter Ego dupe for the bronze palette that I bought a few months ago because I really wanted the bronze palette, but I think it might have been out of stock and also I couldn't afford it. So I bought this cheaper dupe, which, I mean, I obviously cannot compare this bad boy to the actual Natasha Denona palette, but I love it. Like I really like it. I actually am blown away by the mattes, which I think would mean I would really enjoy the Natasha Denona mattes because this is duping the Miss Denona mattes. So I do really like that palette. I would be interested, of course, after my no-buy in maybe actually purchasing a Natasha Denona proper palette. And I could actually see it being this one. I know a lot of people were wanting this to be a little bit more, like have more shimmers. It only has one shimmer with 4 mattes. For me personally, I kind of prefer that. I used to really only be a mattes person and not like to put shimmer on my eyes, but now I do enjoy putting like shimmer and glitter and things on my eyes. But I actually think this would work out really well for me because I love that there's a deeper brown in it that's warmer. I love that there's like a lighter shade, a sort of mid-tone bronze shade, a reddy bronze, and then that shimmer just kind of looks like a classic almost like neutral, maybe a little warm leaning bronze. So contrary to maybe what I feel like I've heard people say about this, I actually think this would be a really useful palette, and I would consider picking it up if I was not on a no buy. But as it is, I must anti-haul it, and it's pretty easy to anti-haul. I have the bronze palette Alter Ego dupe that I could definitely recreate this palette with, that I love, and also a million other shimmer shades that are similar to the shimmer shade in this mini bronze palette. Shimmer shade similar to the shimmer shades. It's a new tongue twister. All right, so not this time, Natasha. Or maybe in a few months. All right, this is one that's definitely released and is causing quite the waves. Quite the waves? Making quite the waves? The waves are quaking? I don't know. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. Basically the e.l.f. tries to make the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. My take on this, when I saw it released, I was like, oh, another Hollywood Flawless filter dupe. Because my thing is, I feel like we are swimming in flawless filter dupes. I remember a few years ago, it was really hard to find a dupe, and even people that said that there were dupes at the drugstore. I remember I bought, I think it was the Lumi Glotion because someone told me it was going to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, and it was just not. And then once I actually tried the Charlotte Tilbury, I was like, which I can pull it out. I have the Charlotte Tilbury in 2. But now that I actually have the Charlotte Tilbury, that was nothing like it. I think what makes this special, that a lot of dupes, in my opinion, don't hold a candle for, is the glow lasts the entire day. I feel like, especially with the Lumi Glotion, it was I would put it on and maybe for 30 minutes I'd be like, yeah, it's a dupe, and then it would just dissipate. I also don't really like the color of it. Anyway, this is not about the Lumi Glotion, this is about the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter Glow Booster for Radiant Skin thing. So anyway, so I was kind of surprised that people were losing their ever-loving shit over this. I mean, I know the Hollywood Flawless filter is still a really popular product, and I think it's just as popular on TikTok as it was on beauty YouTube back in the day. So, I mean, I feel like now that I say that, I actually do get why people were so excited, because I think what sets e.l.f. apart from a Makeup Revolution, which is also known for duping things, but doing it a lot with maybe a little less tact, and doing it to brands that are smaller and maybe you shouldn't be duping if you're a major corporation, is that e.l.f. one, I think, just dupes major mainstream brands, which people are a lot more comfortable with, which totally makes sense. I don't think Charlotte Tilbury is going to lose sleep over e.l.f. doing a doe foot glow enhancer. A way that maybe an indie or smaller influencer brand might be upset if e.l.f. were to so purposefully dupe one of their products. And with e.l.f., it's just, I mean, certainly in my experience, better quality than Makeup Revolution. But they also take, they steal ideas, but then they run with them. So my example with that is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty primer, which when it came out was clearly a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas. Yeah. But then e.l.f. one, I think, made a great product that a lot of people loved. I actually had one of those and it was a lovely product, and I had the green one and I really liked that one too. Pretty much used it up. But what e.l.f. does is they don't just stop at duping that product. They're okay, now that we've duped that product, we're gonna do poreless putty blushes and eyeshadows and eye primers and bronzer and things that people really, really rave over. I haven't been as big of a fan of the expansion things that I've tried, but people on social media and from what I can tell in real life really, really enjoyed those. So I think maybe that's also why people were so excited, because they knew that e.l.f. could deliver a really, really close dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury. Anyway, so I think people, basically what I'm trying to say is that people trust that e.l.f. will do a good job, and then maybe even iterate further on the idea. I could see them maybe doing a Halo Glow liquid bronzer, liquid blush, and taking it further than even Charlotte Tilbury has. So that's interesting. I in no way need to buy this, But yeah, I mean, if you have been waiting for a product like the Hollywood Flawless Filter and you've been priced out, I mean, this is definitely a great option, but just not something that I need to buy. Okay, we've like made it through 2 products and I'm already 15 minutes into filming. Great. Okay, so the next product is the new liquid powder matte eye tint from Ilia. I have a few things from Ilia. I really love their mascara. I tolerate their concealer because I paid for it, although I actually would not recommend it at all. But they're just a brand for some reason. I'm really drawn to the packaging, the simplicity, I think. Oh, and I have their powder highlight, which is gorgeous. But I really like Ilia Beauty. I'm out here always checking out what they're releasing and always stunned by how expensive everything is. Like, it's like a Sephora brand, so there's like a certain price I have in mind for like a mid-tier clean Sephora, clean with all the quotes and caveats around that, Sephora brand. But then like even versus Kosas, like they are well above Kosas and just charging things that are their prices. Anyway, I have been getting more into cream and liquid eyeshadows, and I just think these shades look absolutely gorgeous. I kind of want all of them. Like the Aster shade, which is a soft lavender, I think looks like so stunning. There's like this, they call it a moss green shade, is named Juniper. It just looks like a really mucky, like earthy, olivey brown, like it looks so good. I love that they have like a deep rich brown called Tannin, ochre, which is a warm terracotta, which I actually don't, I think I've seen ochre in store and I don't know if I think it's a terracotta, but that's fine. I wish I could buy all of these. They are so expensive. I think they're like $25 a pop. $28, which is crazy. Yeah, the Glossier Skywash is $18. Not that I'm saying it's the same product, but just like a similar vibe. Although I do think, I swatched some of these at Sephora, the Ilia ones, and they do seem a little thicker and more pigmented than the Glossier ones, which are pretty sheer, but not totally sheer. Anyway, even if I was out here buying makeup right now, like $28 for one liquid eye tint, I think is really asking a lot. So I think I'm almost like priced out of these. Or, I mean, right now I'm definitely priced out of these. And then, of course, I'm on my no-buy. So, yeah, looks like a beautiful product. Maybe as a little treat in the future, if I'm still interested, I would maybe get the Tannin deep brown shade, or the Aster soft lavender shade just looks gorgeous. And I've been looking as in thinking constantly in my mind about, like, the perfect soft lavender one-and-done cool girl eyeshadow moment. And Ilia definitely seems like a brand that would deliver the cool girl moment. So, like everything else I'm going to do, I'm going to anti-haul this. But I do think it looks really pretty. Oh, this is a palette that I do wish I could just honestly buy, because I think it's gorgeous. It's the Juvia's Place Garden of Juvia's palette. It's a whole garden collection. There's also eyeliners and gloss and eyeliners and gloss in a palette. I don't care about the eyeliners and the gloss. The palette looks like such a pretty palette. And I've been wanting to get a good, the pastel. Good God. Pastel. I've been wanting to get a really good pastel palette. I have one from ColourPop that, if I'm in the mood for pastels, does the trick, but it just has to be handheld. It's a very limited color selection. It's in really cheap packaging. I'm not a fan. This one, however, looks exactly what I have been looking for, which is affordable. It's $25, which I think is a fair price. You can always use like a coupon at Ulta. Trendmood has a code, of course, for Juvia's Place, to maybe knock a little of that off. And I think Juvia's Place does go on sale. So, yeah, it just looks so pretty. I love the purples. Like, again, I want that cool girl lavender one and done moment. If this had existed a few months ago when I was searching for the perfect pastel palette that wasn't going to be too expensive, I 100% would have bought this. I think it is Oh, even looking at it right now, like the mint color looks great. I love that there's kind of like an orange, warm brown. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. But hopefully it'll be there in a few months when I can actually buy it. But for now I cannot, which is fine. Oh, the good folks at, I think this is Makeup Revolution. Is it? Or is it just General Mills? Is General Mills just like, we're just going to release candles on our own? We're not even going to collab with anyone? Oh. Anyway, okay, I guess General Mills is making cereal scented candles, which according to the comments is stealing from a smaller creator, which sucks. And I don't really have any comment about these. I guess if you like the smell of cereal, you'll might like these. I don't know if I would trust General Mills to make candles, although they're such a giant company, they probably own candle making companies. But my hot take on this is that they are really fucking ugly. Like, could you not have tried anything else besides? Like, I just find them so unesthetically displeasing. Would it be aesthetically displeasing? Or, yeah, it would be. I don't find them visually appealing. I think they're ugly. I would not buy them. So the new CeraVe, the main product I would be interested in is the makeup removing cleanser balm, which I may actually buy. I am on a replacement only no buy, and I'm almost done with my cleansing balm, although I think I have like a little travel size one I can use up before I would buy this one. But this one, it seems like is getting pretty good reviews. It's interesting because a lot of people are, I guess, kind of disappointed that it's only 1.3 ounces, which might prevent me too from buying it. It's really weird for them because, like, I feel like one of the biggest pros of CeraVe, I mean, obviously affordable, super accessible at the drugstore, but is that you get really decent amounts of products in nearly every product. Like, their cleansers come in like giant sizes, and it's great because you don't run through them super quick. So I'm like everyone else, I guess I am also a little puzzled by the smallness of this. The comforting eye makeup remover, I think, could be something I would consider buying if I ever run through my Glossier cleansing oil, I think it's called. I think, yeah, it's a little bit cheaper than that one, and it looks kind of like a similar product. And I like to use that whenever I have like super stubborn eye makeup, or honestly, I mainly use it when I mess up my eyeliner, like today. And I don't know if we ever got it right, but don't look too hard. So anyway, I actually think even if I do end up needing a cleansing balm, I would probably just repurchase my Good Molecules one, because that one works really well and has a lot more product than the CeraVe. Weird move. Like, hopefully they'll come out with a bigger size. I don't get it. The Rare Beauty matte lipsticks and liners collection, I think these look great. I've heard them get really good reviews. I do wish the lip liner was either... Oh wait, is it a retractable? No. So I do think it's like, yeah. The liners are like kind of the Color Poppy plastic packaging that you have to sharpen, which I kind of hate. So actually I probably wouldn't get one of the lip liners just because of that. I either want the liner to be like retractable, or I want it to just be an actual pencil I can sharpen, because sharpening plastic just like fucks up all of my makeup sharpeners, and I just don't like it. But the lipsticks look gorgeous. There's like a deeper brown one called Wise. Oh, I really cannot see. Or maybe Gifted? I think it's Wise. Yeah, there's a deeper brown one called Wise that I really, really like. But I definitely don't need any more lip products, so even if I wasn't on a no-buy, I'd probably pass. But since I am, it's an easy thing to anti-haul. Patrick Ta came out with brow pencils, basically. And I think it's the small one. Yeah, slim oval shape. So this comment really isn't exclusive to Patrick Ta at all. I just don't understand being a higher end brand and getting into the micro brow pencil game if you're not already in it. Because, and then only coming out with 5 shades. I think this is only 5 shades. Yeah, light blonde, blonde, medium brown, dark brown, soft black, redheads, go fuck yourself. That's not in the copy, I added that. Yeah, I just one, it's hard enough to get me. I really don't like to buy expensive brow pencils, especially micro brow pencils, because if I'm using a brow pencil regularly, I run through it pretty quickly. And these are $25 a piece, and you can get basically near the same, if not better, quality brow pencil at the drugstore. It's going to cost you less than 10, and it's less devastating to have to purchase that like every month or two. So I do understand like the ABHs of the world and the benefits whose like foundation as a brand really are on brows, and who have people who are obsessed with a particular shade in their range. Obviously that makes sense that they have higher end brow products and come out with new brow things. And I know Patrick Ta, specifically the brand, has had success with like the lamination soap and gels and things like that. But I don't know, it's just a tough sell to me to be a brand who has not made a brow pencil, who's coming out with such a limited shade range, and then to be like, they're $25 a piece. It's like, okay, why would I buy that when CoverGirl or NYX makes a really great brow pencil that actually has more shades? Or if I do like paying or prefer paying that much for a brow pencil, why am I going over there instead of a Benefit or ABH or whatever? I just, I don't get like a reason to release this besides we don't have a brow pencil, I guess we should come out with one. Because if you are going to come out with one, like, be like Kosas or whatever and like come out with a million shades that actually have nuance and aren't just, and not to say that these actual shades aren't nuanced, I just like 5 shades and like $25. I just don't know who's buying this, but maybe people are. I don't know. But ECD anti-all. AF94, the drugstore version of About Face, which is Halsey's brand, and this one is also Halsey's brand. I think it's a Walmart exclusive. I actually saw the display recently when I was in Walmart, which I try to avoid at all costs, but I go like twice a year. I saw the display, looked like I get it. Like, I think if you are looking to pay drugstore prices and you want to play with makeup, this looks great. I am actually interested in buying some of the liquid shadows and cream shadows eventually from About Face. This brand just really doesn't do anything for me. The packaging is very, very cheap, which makes sense. Everything's under $10, but very, very cheap. And the product's just like, yeah, I don't know. Just didn't really interest me. I think this is a great brand if you are younger and just trying to get into makeup, and that's clearly the audience they're targeting. So good on them for that. I think it's cool that it is in Walmart actually, because if you think about it, not that I enjoy Walmart, but Walmart is in like super rural places and places where I'm thinking specifically younger queer kids might not have access to makeup like this that they can afford or that they can see and play with like colors and things like that. So I think that aspect of it is really cool. And eventually I would like to try the About Face brand proper. But this brand is just like a little too young and a little too cheap for me, if I'm being perfectly honest. Oh, the REM concealer. This, I don't know what to think about this. So when it first came out, I was like, yeah, I don't trust, not that I don't trust Ariana Grande. I guess I just don't trust this, like I didn't trust this brand with complexion or really anything. I really love Ariana Grande as an artist. I think she's great. And actually I think she, more so than other pop stars, I think does a really good job for actually standing up for her queer and trans fans. So snaps to that. But this beauty brand, she just doesn't seem that interested. Like, there's been videos of her explaining the products that, in my opinion, kind of look like she's opening and experiencing them herself for the first time. It gives less of a Fenty vibe where it's like Rihanna's really in the makeup, and really knowledgeable and actually giving input about what she likes to see, and more like someone was like, hey, Ariana Grande, we want to develop a makeup line with you, and you just have to be the face of it, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe Ari's in the labs. I don't think she is. But maybe. And then also, not just her disinterest, it's like the brand incubator it came out of, and it's owned by I think it's called Forma Brands or whatever, which is who owns Morphe and I don't know. I just have not had great experiences. I've had barely any experiences with Morphe because, I mean, Google Morphe controversy. Like there's so much there, and I just don't really like that brand, and I don't believe in their quality. So immediately when I saw the disinterest from Ari, in my opinion, and also that it's a Morphe affiliated brand, I was like, yeah, I'm not interested. And then I saw the initial products and I was like, wow, triple whammy, super not interested. Like everything just looked really cheapy, really uninspired. Bleh. Like, I guess it was kind of cute how some stuff kind of looked like astronaut suits or whatever. I don't know. Not for me. Anyway, all of that background to say, when I was kind of shocked when she launched, like, not only a complexion product like a concealer, but one that was in a different sort of packaging and with 60 shades. I was like, huh, that's interesting. Especially since it's claiming to kind of be, or not kind of, it's claiming to be a high full coverage concealer in a pot. And it says camouflaging, illuminating, smoothing, hydrating. It says lightweight, medium coverage, buildable. Although I feel like they're also advertising it as full coverage. Yeah. I don't know. And it looks like a really interesting texture. That's one thing I cannot grasp, even when watching reviews. I'm like, how set is it in there? Like, could you DQ Blizzard it? Dairy Queen Blizzard test this REM concealer? Because in the pictures, it's like, oh no, it would gloop out. But then when I've seen people use it, I feel like I saw somebody hold it upside down and DQ Blizzard it. So I don't know. Anyway, I actually watched a State of Kate's, I think, Instagram reel about this, and it looked great on her. She and I'll link the reel below. She applied it under her eyes, like kind of more full coverage, and then sheared it out around her face, which is also what I like. I have a lot when I watch her videos. We have similar complexion favorites and things like that, and also ways of doing complexion. So I was really not interested. I was kind of side-eyeing people saying it was good, but then I saw her review and I was like, well, she likes it and we have similar taste, and also it just legitimately looked incredible on her. So I guess maybe down, and it's $24, which is a really nice price, I think. So again, I'm definitely not needing any concealers right now at all. So not checking for this right now, but maybe down the line after I use a few concealers up, I might be interested. Cause yeah, it does look like there would, I mean, I would hope in 60 Shades there would be a shade for me. I'm sure there is. And it is getting good reviews, and I really enjoyed the look of it on State of Kate. So interesting. All right, so this is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer. I am thinking it is... Yeah, it's from the same line as that foundation that kind of sort of went viral and got good reviews a few months ago. This one comes in 50 shades, which is also great, that match the Best Skin Ever foundation shades. Weightless, long wear, transfer resistant, non-caking, non-creasing, non-drying, anti-pollution, 12-hour hydration, skin-loving ingredients, algae extract, hyaluronic acid, vegan formula, full coverage, natural finish, 50 shades, $15. So that all sounds great. How is the concealer anti-pollution? Like, I mean, I guess it's like anti-skin pollution, but that seems stupid. I don't know. Anyway, I think $15 is a great price. I love that there's so many shades. If I'm interested in getting a liquid concealer, I would definitely consider going in Sephora and swatching these and seeing how the texture and feel and shade matches. But yeah, to be honest, it's an easy thing for me to anti-haul, but definitely something I'll look out for reviews on and would be interested in the future if, again, I was in need of a liquid concealer. But I feel like it's a good release for the Sephora collection. I do think Sephora should go through the Sephora collection and like downsize a little, because like there are products that I have heard are really great, like the liquid lipsticks and the lip liners, that Best Skin Ever foundation. I don't know, like when I go into the display in store, there's just so many options for every product category. Like they have a tinted moisturizer I didn't even know existed, and like a million bronzers and blushes, and I just think they would maybe help themselves stick in people's makeup brain hard drive a little bit better if they didn't have so many options. I think it would be better for them if they went through every category and kind of made sure everything was quality instead of, like, I don't know. I feel like when I go even to look at the Sephora collection, it's like, okay, they have two sort of shitty bronzers and then this one kind of looks good. And they also do like holiday releases that are those really terrible, like giant books of crappy makeup for $50 that isn't even really worth 10. So I don't know. I just feel like the Sephora collection, I feel like with releases like that, they're doing better at actually capturing what people want out of the Sephora collection. And I also think it's a great way to get people in the door now that people are more interested. Even if you are a beauty lover, you are more interested in buying drugstore and lower price because of YouTube, TikTok, things like that. I think they would help themselves if they didn't have a trillion options. My free consulting advice for the Sephora collection. Melt is releasing ultra matte powder bronzers. Packaging looks kind of pretty and also kind of Charlotte Tilbury-esque if Charlotte Tilbury smoked weed. Which maybe she does, I don't know. Melt's the weed brand, right? I always get them confused. Yeah, Melt's the weed brand and Bite's the brand that's closing. I always get those confused. These look like fine. This is incredibly easy for me to anti-haul because I have realized even throughout the snow buy, especially throughout the snow buy, that I just do not like powder bronzers or really even powder blush. Like, I just thought I never got the perfect one, so I would keep buying one in hopes that the next one would actually be perfect. And after cycling through all of my powder, blush, and bronzer options, I'm just like, no, I have, I think, good ones. I just don't think I like the texture on my skin or how they apply, et cetera, at all. And I'm just a cream liquid kind of gal. So this is easy for me to anti-haul. Ooh, these look terrible, in my humble opinion. So Merit is releasing Bronze Balm Sheer Sculpting Bronzer. That cannot be the name. Why is bronze on there twice? Like, you could have called it a Sheer Sculpting Balm Bronzer? Or no, Sheer Sculpting Bronzer Balm. I feel like it would be better than Bronze Balm Sheer Sculpting Bronzer. Whatever. It looks kind of similar to the Rare Beauty ones, which I think is a cream to powder formula. I'm not sure if this is a cream to powder formula. There are 5 shades. The component. The component looks nice. It's all gold. What makes me really question this is, one, I think the shades are fine. I think for me personally, the lighter shades are maybe a little bit warm for my personal preferences. Like they look like they lean a little bit orange. So maybe not perfect for me, which is fine. But what really is bad about this release, in my opinion, is the pictures that Merit has decided to release of people wearing this product. Because the pictures look terrible or like the bronzer specifically in the pictures looks terrible. It looks patchy. It looks like, I mean, kind of that classic bad bronzer look of like rubbing dirt all over your face, right? It doesn't look like it's well blended. It looks weirdly oily. And at first I was like, I need to check my bias here. Is it just because these are less photoshopped than usual? But I don't think it's because they're less photoshopped than usual. I just think the pictures, or the product looks bad in the pictures, which makes me believe, like, that doesn't give me a lot of faith in the product, is I guess what I'm saying. So I would, even if I was checking for any sort of powder or cream bronzers right now, which I'm definitely not, I would not be interested in this. Yeah, no. And I think people in the comments are, pictures not look good. Looks like they rub their face on some dirt. Place some of the bronzer on the models. Makes them look weird. Looks a bit greasy. Yeah, just really, I mean, and here's the thing. If the product photography people were working with what they had, and that's the best they could do. That's not, so I'm not going to say it's bad product photography. Maybe it's a bad product. But in my opinion, it looks like it's either a bad product or bad product photography. Remains to be seen which one. But that's an easy anti-haul. Ariana Grande is coming out with body care, which I think is her sort of Ariana Grande fragrance line, which I think is separate from REM. There's a body scrub souffle. There's a Gla H&B lotion. The hell is that? It's a Gla, maybe a glow hand and body lotion. What's a Gla H&B lotion? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna look that up real quick. And there's a body oil. It must be glow hand and body lotion. Yeah, I think it's glow hand and body lotion. I think that's a typo on Trend Mood. I would be so much more interested if it was like, I'm coming out with a new sort of product that's called Gla H&B lotion, and it's like, I don't know what the product would do, but that would be fun. Hopefully you cannot hear my partner in the background talking loudly on the phone. This packaging just looks hella cheap. The label looks unimaginative. The prices are not crazy. Like, it's $30 for the scrub souffle, $35 for the body oil. Oh wait, no. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so I think Trend Mood saw it was, I don't know what Trend Mood did actually, sorry. Oh, okay. So I think so Trend Mood saw, I guess, the pictures they got, and it looks like it looks like capital GIAW, and she must have thought, oh, it's GLAW. Maybe it's a play on the word glow. I don't know. I'm looking at a million products in a minute and trying to post them all. Gla H&B lotion. I think what it is GIAY, or W stands for God is a woman. So it's a God is a woman hand and body lotion, not Gla hand and body lotion. And it's also not glow hand and body lotion. I'm glad I know that now. Yeah, God is a woman hand and body lotion. Okay. Wow, what a journey. Anyway, I definitely don't want any of this. It looks like cheap celebrity fragrance crap. Although I have heard her perfumes are good. And I actually have one that I bought forever ago that I love because it reminds me of going to gay clubs in 2017. Summer Fridays is releasing a sheer skin tint with hyaluronic acid. People are really, like, imagine how tired hyaluronic acid is. That's my comment on this. It's just like, I didn't know what was coming. It was probably excited for its moment when it happened a few years ago, but now it's like, there are other hydrating ingredients. There's got to be other hydrating ingredients. Yeah, that's really my only comment on this. It looks a lot like the Glossier skin tint, which I love and I have, so there's definitely no need for this, except even less shades, which is weird to me. There's only 10 shades. I mean, they look flexible because it doesn't look like it's all of much coverage, but still, I think, like, I really think even if it's a, like, I'm saying this about Glossier too, I think even if it's a super sheer skin tint, undertones still matter, like depth of color still matters. I feel like we should at least have 18 to 20 shades, even if it is a super sheer skin tint. I think copping out at only 10 or 12 is kind of lame in this day and age. And then especially for Summer Fridays to be releasing a product now in the year of our savior, Ariana Grande, GIAW, 2022, to release 10 shades, even though it looks like it, you know, like all the buzzwords that people say in comments, spans well, and it's light and dark. Yeah, I still think that's not enough, so not interested. But it looks like a product I would maybe like. Oh god, and it's also $42. Okay, definitely not. Oh god, this one's even worse. This is the Dr. Jart Premium BB Tinted Moisturizer with niacinamide and SPF 40. Premium Beauty Balm, SPF 40 niacinamide tinted moisturizer thing. This one's $44, which is really effing ridiculous. And it comes in a lousy 4 shades. And not even like, you can't even do the whole like, oh, well, like, it does go from super fair to super dark. Like, it goes from super fair to like the end of the medium. I mean, the end of like the tan spectrum. This is pathetic. And also $44, so you can pick from 1 of 4 shades. Terrible. Tomato, a Dr. Jart. This is the first, I guess, proper about face release we're talking about. These are the Cheek Freak Blush Balm. Oh, I thought it was powder blush. Oh, blush balm. Okay, because my take on these was going to be I'm not interested because it's powder blush. But if it's blush balm, I'm still not interested, but I'm more so interested than I was. The purple shade looks really, really pretty and unique. Kind of a lot like that Fenty one, so I guess not terribly unique, but it does look a little bit different. The shades look pretty typical, like nothing really special. I kind of prefer more neutral, brownie blushes, kind of like a Salt New York Cocoa. I love the texture of them, but like as a play button, like I want to press them. Like I want to press them and then I want to hear a sound. Like I don't want to use them as blush. I want to like it makes me think of like Toontown at Disneyland or something where like there's that whole area where you can like explode, or not like actually explode things, but like just have like sound effects. And I don't know, this just reminds me of like 90s, early 2000s McDonald's playpen, press something and noise happens. So I love the texture of it for that. For blush, no. But interesting release. It's not funny that we live in a world where a fragrance brand is coming out with ridiculous $50 lip balms while people in this country cannot afford rent and gas and food. But it's just like so ridiculous that if you don't laugh, you'll cry, which is also fine. Anyway, Byredo is introducing $50 pastel metallic flavored lip balms that are smooth, gliding, and genderless. I love it. I love it when brands are like, it's genderless, and I'm like, thank God. Like it breaks my heart every day when I have to put on my Glossier lip balm and it's not exclusively genderless, because I'm like, am I breaking the law by being a non-binary person putting this on? It's scary. So thank you, Byredo, for this important public service of a genderless lip balm. How stupid. Sorry, I'm like I think it's actually, let me pull back. I think it's good when brands emphasize that things are genderless, but like lip balm is genderless. Like, whatever. And also you're charging $50 for it, so. So yeah. And also metallic pastel. Does that actually look good on anyone's lips? I will say the actual flavors do sound really nice, unfortunately. I kind of want a lip balm that's infused with the minty flavors of Moroccan tea, or with zingy lime and bergamot. Honestly, that sounds lovely. But my GlossierBalm.coms that cost a lot less, I think will just do the trick, and I'll move on without this genderless pastel metallic $50 lip balm. I'll make it somehow. I don't know how, but I'll make it. NARS revealed their holiday collection. Thank God, I was getting worried. It's almost the end of August. It looks very basic. I'm sure the eyeshadow palette's pretty. I've never really tried any NARS products besides like a deluxe version of the kind of like classic concealer that's with the wand, the creamy, radiant creamy or whatever. And I actually really did not like it. I know a lot of people like that concealer, but it was not for me. And yeah, I've just never really been interested in NARS. And this palette is no exception. I'm sure it's pretty, but meh. They have special packaging for their Thrust lipstick. If you want a Thrust beige red all over your lips. I don't know. My comment about this and why I pulled it was that I think the Stars packaging looks incredibly cheap. Charlotte Tilbury does this, and it actually reminds me of Charlotte Tilbury. She does that a lot with like packaging, and people always like seem to like it. Like they're like, oh my god, the packaging's so pretty, I love it. But it just reminds me of like elementary school honor certificates and not high-end makeup. So there's that. Makeup Revolution or I Heart Revolution, one of their many weird sub-brands, is releasing a Looney Tunes collection, or did release a Looney Tunes collection. I just am not here for anything Makeup Revolution. Everything I've tried, the quality has been whack. And I feel like they make makeup not to use, but to buy, if that makes sense. Like, especially with all of their collections, they just look... I know a lot of people pick on ColourPop with this, which I totally get too. I just find with ColourPop, like, at least their eyeshadow formulas are, in my opinion, incredible. Some of the times, sometimes it can be off. So there's a little bit more intentionality there. I mean, you can't tell me that, like, Makeup Revolution just doesn't have, like, a computer program where they're just, like, Looney Tunes, and we want a brush set and weird roller glosses and a big eyeshadow palette and sponges, and this computer just doesn't spit out shit that they can like immediately mass produce. Yeah, it just looks incredibly cheap. I guess if you were a Looney Tunes fan, maybe the makeup pack could be cool, but not for me. Gucci released a new version of their $160 eyeshadow palette. I don't know if the original one they released in that packaging is also $160. I feel like it was less. It was a more affordable 145 or something. I don't know. This is just so unappealing to me. Like, I know a lot of people like feel like Canalise Poston, and a lot of people really talk up Gucci beauty, and are really into it. I just am not. Like, I do think some of the lipsticks look pretty, and I think that's what Hannah mainly really likes. So I get that. But this eyeshadow palette, just like in my opinion, if you removed the artwork, because the artwork is very pretty, you removed the artwork and the Gucci branding from the outside lid of the palette, and it was just like a crappier version of like the flowers that are illustrated on it, maybe a less luxe version. Like, I would think this is a crappy Amazon dupe palette. The packaging just looks really cheap and like plasticky and clunky. Maybe it's not once you get it in your hands. I'm not sure. I think it's great that it is refillable. But that part of it looks cheap too. Like, you can just kind of like go and like $160 worth of eyeshadow is out. I think the colors look... I mean, I will say I'm not a cool tones girl when it comes to eyeshadow usually, so take that into account, but I do think the color story is horrendous in my opinion. Like, for me personally, I'm sure on other people it would look incredible, and if you're into this, like, I'm not seeing a bad taste at all. It's just not it's just not to my taste. And I also am like so not into those blues, because blue really does not work for me as an eyeshadow color. So just like immediately no on all of this. Like, I wouldn't pay $20 for this, to be frank. Like, it's that unappealing to me. And so the fact that they're charging $160 is... Especially because it's like, you're competing against like the Pat McGraths, Natasha Denonas, and those are even less, and I trust them a lot more to make like eyeshadow palettes that maybe aren't worth the price they're charging for, but are luxury quality. This doesn't even look luxury quality to me. Like, this looks, again, very Amazon to me. Gaga is releasing a Triclone Skin Tech foundation, which looks very sexy. Like, very sexy, almost Dior. Like, it reminds me a lot of like a Dior foundation package. Package, whatever. Reminds me a lot of Dior. There's 50 shades, going to be $45, which is quite a lot. People are really excited for this. It looks like, though. I think People are like, I think people have wanted House Labs to succeed from the beginning, but the Amazon of it all kind of made it. And now people are excited that it's in Sephora and rebranding. So I will say two things that would really hold me back if I was in the market for a medium coverage foundation, which I'm guessing this is medium coverage. Maybe it's full coverage. I don't know. One is the price. $45 is a lot for a foundation. Even at Sephora, I think, maybe not even at Sephora. I guess that's maybe run of the mill now, which is sad. But I don't know. I feel like there's other, like, I don't know. If I'm giving $45 over for a foundation, do I want to do it to a brand that, to me personally, and I think for most people, is kind of untested in this realm? Like, I don't think they've ever done like a full complexion product, unless I'm mistaken. So that just seems like a lot to come out the gate and try to get people to buy it for, although it seems like there's going to be plenty of takers. But in a space as crowded as the makeup space, specifically when you're selling in Sephora, that seems like a lot. And then two, the undertones look very pronounced. Like, it looks like a lot of these shades, it's like red or yellow or pink. Like, it doesn't, like, I mean, there's 50 shades, so I'm sure there are neutral options. For $45, I think even if I was in the market for a product like this, which I'm not, I would pass. Or wait for reviews, or wait till I could actually swatch it in Sephora. Although I don't think they're in Sephora yet, unless I'm mistaken. Although maybe by the time that's out, they will be. P. Louise releasing, looks like 3 eyeshadow palettes. The main one I want to talk about is this like double drawer money shot eyeshadow palette, which looks like unnecessary. So many repeat shades. It looks like Claire's trying to dupe Jeffree Stars, which is not a compliment. Super unnecessary. Definitely not worth $59. On the other end, and I would almost like juxtapose the P. Louise palette with this one from Cosmic Brushes, which is only 20 pounds. And I think has kind of taken the makeup world by storm, because I think they are continuously like restocking and selling out super quick. Is this Serenity palette. This is one, I think it's permanent. So I'm hoping I can buy this. I mean, right, like I would love to buy this right now, because I think it has those gorgeous like pastels, but then there's like deeper colors. It just looks like such a fun palette to play with. And my thing is, in my current financial position, when I do want to find colorful makeup palettes to play for, or to play with, I don't want to have to pay that much for them, because I don't know if I'm even, like, it's not something I'm probably going to be reaching for every day, because I'm not out here wearing purple eyeshadow every day. That'd be cool if I was, but I'm not. But this just looks incredible. And I saw the YouTube channel Queer Bones review this, and it looked great on their channel. I really like their review sold me even more on this palette. So I hope it's still available when I can actually buy it in November or maybe December. The Applebee's Winky Lux lip gloss collection. I mean, I think the only thought I have that hasn't maybe I've seen be said is like, are people really checking for Applebee's wings like this? Like, I mean, you know, irregardless, which I know isn't a word, but irregardless of like the weirdness and like why would you take like color cues from wing sauce, and obviously it's a marketing grab, etc., etc. But like, why isn't this like with Buffalo Wild Wings? Maybe I'm wrong and I'm just not into the Fern Bar wing game, but like I just did not know that people were so into Applebee's wings that they needed to collab with a makeup brand on lip glosses. I would almost like respect it more if it was with somewhere like Buffalo Wild Wings or Wingstop or something, but Applebee's. Sure. Okay, and then the last release I'm going to talk about, which is actually I think the newest one, is the My Dreams collection from Natasha Denona. There is an eyeshadow palette, which I think is one of her $65 ones. Well, maybe I'm mistaken. It doesn't have prices. I think it's one of the midi ones. Maybe not, though. I don't know. So yeah, there's the eyeshadow palette. There is a blush and highlighter palette, and there's lipstick, lip liner, and gloss. I don't really care about the lip products, and I feel like most people don't really talk about Natasha Denona lip products. Maybe some of the lipsticks. Whatever. I feel like the real headline here obviously is the eyeshadow palette. I think from the comments, from what I've seen, people are really into this. It looks kind of like a more neutral, cool leaning palette with some kind of pinky, purple, mauve. I say mauve. I don't know. I'm trying to be classier than I am. With like mauve colors. Just not my color story, to be honest. So I would not buy it for that reason. I think the blush and highlighter palette looks incredibly basic. I feel like I've heard good things about her formulas on those. But for me, just not one, just like powder products like that, I'm not really using at all. And those colors don't really appeal to me either. It's like a light champagne-y gold, and then like a more yellow kind of gold, I think. And then like a kind of deep mauve highlight, or not highlight, a deep mauve. Maybe not deep mauve, maybe a mid-tone mauve blush. Hard to tell from pictures. My other comment on this, the packaging is horrific to me. It's kind of ink splat, sort of vibe. Like, it's not like it's like a really gunky goth palette color story inside. It's a like neutral color story with a few deeper shades. That font she's using on the eyeshadow palette for the My Dream palette is just like, I mean, maybe it's her handwriting, so maybe I shouldn't insult her handwriting, but it just reads very Pinterest 2012 to me, which is not a compliment. So I can see why people would be interested, though, if these colors excite them, and Natasha Denona obviously is known to have a great formula, so sure. All right, and that is it. Thank you so much for watching all the way toward the end. I am afraid of how long this video is going to be because I feel like I went on and on. But I really enjoyed talking through all these makeup releases. As always, if you're interested in any of these, make sure you're in a financially sound position to purchase them. Make sure you're not duping yourself unless you are a collector and you don't care, then obviously do whatever you want. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, I would really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate you subscribing. Again, you could be my first subscriber. What a rare and exciting opportunity. And I hope you will join me for my next video. Thanks, y'all. Bye.